Hi and welcome back. In the last couple of episodes I've made a breathable insulation curtain for the upstairs pop-top roof bed. My strategy was to use a breathable fabric which came pre-quilted with a thin slate-like backing. I've used that doubled up, and the reason that I didn't sandwich any foil in between or that sort of similar insulation is because I wanted to be able to leave the curtain in place when we close down the lid, and also because ventilation up here is so important. All the warm water-laden air from breathing rises up, and because the outer canvas walls are exposed to the elements, it can get quite cold up here, so it's really important to ensure that moisture can escape. And also, of course, I wanted the curtains to be machine washable. I actually made the curtains themselves a couple of years ago, and they've proved great, not only in cold weather, but also in the hot weather itself for blocking out the sun's heating that happens up here, and also as a fabulous blackout all year round. So now that the curtains are a permanent feature, I want to add some zipped windows at the sides so that we can more easily access the canvas side windows, just like we can already do at the front window here. Placement of these zips is a bit tricky though, because the roof is sloped, and I've managed to get a long and a short zip to fit the space, but I also want the top line to follow the roof line, otherwise it would just look a bit wonky. So it's a careful process of making sure everything is aligned properly, and then feeling through for the existing zips in the canvas, checking against the length of the zips that I've been able to buy, and then marking up with a chalk pen. Incidentally, these pens are great for marking fabric, much easier to use than tailor's chalk, although it probably doesn't come off as easily, so be careful if you try and use them. Once the optimum position has been found, it's off to the kitchen table, which has again been taken over by bits of sewing paraphernalia. For some reason the footage of me cutting the openings hasn't come out, so apologies for that, but just to say what I have done is simply cut through both layers of fabric in a squared off U shape, so along the two sides and the top. No, it's not quite a squared off U shape, it's more a sort of trapezium or something. Anyway, vertically on the sides and then a diagonal line joining the two. So we've got a sort of wonky U-shaped flap, and now I'm encasing the cut edges in a coordinated cotton twill bias tape, and then I'll stitch chunky moulded plastic zips onto each vertical side behind the gaps, and then create a flap at the top. So I'll put an extra piece on with some stronger polypropylene webbing and stitch velcro to hold the top edge together. This velcro won't be seen at all, hence I'm using some slightly random colours, just using what I've got left in the stash. So you can see really well what I've done here. We've got the two vertical edges which have got the zips in, so those have got the contrasting lighter grey cotton twill binding covering the raw cut edges, and then the zips being set in behind, and then across the top edge there's the stronger polypropylene webbing which has the velcro set behind it, and then another piece of velcro on the top of the flap to keep everything nicely done up and nicely tight when we don't want to access the windows. Here we are back in the roof bed, and I've velcroed everything into place. So this is what everything looks like closed up, and thanks to the chunky zips it's pretty easy to open, even with one hand, because the other one's desperately trying to keep the camera nice and steady, so I don't try and recreate Blair Witch or make you guys all seasick. And there we are, we've now got access to all three of the windows, the front and the two sides themselves. And then the original canvas rolls away neatly, as does the new inner insulation layer. In terms of closing the roof ready for travel, I found it's easier and neater to unvelcro the front piece and then fold the sides back across the bed space. Then pull the roof down as per normal. Then it's super easy to do and all clamps up properly, and the canvas can be rolled away neatly, which isn't strictly necessary because this is a caravan, not a camper van, and it doesn't matter if we can't see where we're going. But if we're stopping en route, it does make life a little bit easier, and I guess it's a bit like making your bed every day. Just gives you that sense of organised preparedness. Anyway, thanks for following along. I hope that was really interesting to watch, and for those of you with pop-top roof beds, perhaps it gives some ideas for how living up here can be made a little bit more comfortable. Please give us a thumbs up if that was useful, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to follow along with more of our adventures and our makes and our mods. Bye for now.